At this moment in hockey history, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in 8th place in the Central Division. After 32 games skated, they have a record of 9-17-6. They have 24 points, which has them dramatically far out of first place and a playoff spot for this point in the season. On home ice, which is where the Nashville Predators' next game will take place against the Pittsburgh Penguins, they have a record of 6-7-2. They've scored 72 goals on the season. They've given up 98 goals against. They have a goal differential of -24. Now the Predators have an opportunity to break even on home ice in this next game against Pittsburgh and also have an opportunity to pick up their 10th win of the regular season. We'll talk about the Preds week ahead, the Penguins, and the matchup immediately after we update the Central Division. The Winnipeg Jets still find themselves in first place in Central Division after 33 games skated. They have 47 points. The Minnesota Wild have fallen 3 points behind the Winnipeg Jets, but have 2 games in hand at 44 points in second place. The Dallas Stars are in third place with 38 points. The Colorado Avalanche are in fourth place with 36 points, the first team on the outside looking in for an automatic qualifying playoff position. Utah's got 33 as well as St. Louis, and they are 5th and 6th place respectively. Chicago Blackhawks are in 7th place with 24 points. The Predators are in 8th place with 24. For the Predators, their week ahead, this 4-game homestand continues. The first game was against the New York Rangers. Recap coming up shortly. This game against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Then Saturday afternoon versus the LA Kings. Monday versus the Carolina Hurricanes, and then it is the Christmas break, resuming the schedule on the 27th of December in St. Louis, and then the 30th of December at Winnipeg, the 31st at Minnesota, so ending the year with a back-to-back. For the Predators and the Pittsburgh Penguins, this is the first of 2 regular season meetings. The next one will take place in Pittsburgh. That will happen on February the 1st. Just in case you haven't been keeping up with the Pens this season, their overall record, 14-14-5. They've really turned things around as of late and are performing much better than they were a month ago. 33 points on the season, has them 4th overall in the Metropolitan Division. On the road, 5-7-3, so more susceptible on the road than at home. They've scored 100 goals for. They've given up 123, though. That's a goal differential of -23, very comparable to what the Nashville Predators have. When it comes to their most recent stretch of 5 completed games, again, they are starting to gain points in the standings. It starts on December the 7th, 5-2 win versus the Toronto Maple Leafs. On the 10th of December, a 6-2 loss versus the Colorado Avalanche. The 12th of December saw a 9-2 victory at the Montreal Canadiens. The 14th of December, a 3-2 overtime loss at Ottawa. And their most recent completed game on the 17th of December was a 3-2 overtime win versus the LA Kings, which will be the Nashville Predators' next opponent after this game. Nedeljkovic picked up the victory in that game, 29 out of 31. Before we get into the rankings in this matchup between the Predators and the Penguins, let's quickly update you on the Predators' injury situation. The captain, Roman Josi, Jeremy Lauzon, Alex Carey, all still listed as day-to-day, but we do anticipate movement and one returning for this Pittsburgh game because Mark Del Gaizo has been placed on waivers. Hopefully he will clear and get back to Milwaukee, but that makes room for a defenseman on the Nashville Predators. So one of the 3 anticipated to be back in the lineup, all of them day-to-day close to coming back. Now, let's talk about the rankings between these 2 teams going into this matchup. And it's interesting, a little bit of a counterbalance between the 2 teams. You'll see it. You'll pick up on the pattern. The Predators goals for, it's abysmal, 2.25, 32nd in the league, but they have managed to win 2 of their last 3 games, and they have managed to score more than 2.25 goals in 2 of those last 3 games. The Pittsburgh Penguins are averaging 3 goals even per game. That's 17th best in the NHL. Now, this is where it's interesting. They are inverse of each other. So the Predators' goals against is 16th in the league, giving up 3.06. And again, the Penguins' goals for was 17th, and the Predators' goals for is 32nd, while the Penguins' goals against is 32nd at 3.67 goals per game. So that makes for an interesting fight right there. Shots for Predators 29.5 per game is 11th best in the NHL. The Penguins at 29.6 is 10th best in the NHL. And the shots against category, the Predators giving up 30 per game is 27th. The Pittsburgh Penguins are giving up 32 even per game. That's 30th in the league. Special teams comparison, the Penguins have the better power play, but the Predators have the better penalty kill unit. Here's how they shape up. 17.6% power play conversion rate for the Nashville Predators is 25th in the NHL, and it's been sinking consistently almost all season long. Only 16 out of 91 opportunities. The power play for the Pittsburgh Penguins, 22.3%, 13th best in the NHL. 21 conversions out of 94 opportunities. And when you can put the amount of skill and talent out there that the Nashville Predators have, they should be able to score at a consistent basis. But that can also be said about the Pittsburgh Penguins, and they have been scoring on a much more consistent basis with the 13th best power play in the league. The penalty kill unit for the Nashville Predators, still number one overall in the NHL, and they have been riding that number one position for quite some time now. 87.8% kill rate, 12 power play goals against, most recently going up against New York Rangers, number two penalty kill unit in the league, and doing just fine. Now, the Penguins PK unit also quite good, 82.3% kill rate, is seventh best in the league. They've given up 17 power play goals against, better as of late. Now, let's get into the individual statistics for each of these teams. Let's get into the scoring leaders. The captain, Roman Josi, hopefully back in the lineup against the Pittsburgh Penguins. He's the scoring leader for the Predators at 7 goals and 16 assists for 23 overall points. Phil Forsberg has seen some movement in his stats as of late. It's been the assist category, 9 goals. Still struggling to find that 10th goal of the season, 13 assists, 22 points overall. Jonathan Marchessault has been climbing the charts with 8 goals and 11 assists for 19 points, seeming to be getting more comfortable as a Predator every day. Stamkos, 8 goals and 10 assists for 18. O'Reilly, 7 goals, 10 assists for 17 total points. Over on the Pittsburgh Penguins side of things, you'll recognize all of these names. Sidney Crosby, 8 goals and 23 assists for 31 points, and he just continues, and he's also approaching franchise records and Mario Lemieux records and things like that. So for Sidney Crosby, he's always dangerous against the Nashville Predators, but with another record right there in his sights, I would not be surprised if he puts on an excellent performance against the Nashville Predators. Malkin's at 7 and 19 for 26. Rickard Rakell, 14 goals, 10 assists for 24 points. Rust is at 12 and 9 for 21. Carlson, 2 and 18 for 20. And I cannot wait to see the Phil Tomasino tribute video against the Pittsburgh Penguins. So far, he's already put up quite a few highlight reel plays, and Penguins fans are loving the discarded prospect from the Nashville Predators. When it comes to the netminders, let's say Nedeljkovic, he picked up the victory against the LA Kings, and he's now 5-5 and 3 with a 3.26 goals against and 8.86 save percentage. UC Saros, after his most recent start, now 7-14 and 5, a 2.63 goals against average with a 9.11 save percentage, 3 shutouts on the season, and let's throw in that 1 assist just to show you how dominant individually he has been, while the team in front of him has been subpar for most of the first 32 games of the season. All right, listen, that's got you all set up for the Nashville Predators against the Pittsburgh Penguins at Bridgestone Arena, taking place on a Thursday evening. We're getting set for the Christmas break. It's going to be a good time at Bridgestone Arena, going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully the Predators can duplicate the performance that they put on against the New York Rangers and on the road against the Dallas Stars. If the Preds can start putting up that level of consistent performance and getting the big names to perform, well, then the Nashville Predators might start to turn this season around, at least enough to get them out of last place in the Central Division. We got the Reverse Sports full game recap coming up next right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.